How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Pei Zayin, Daf Paz, Daf 87 of Masechta BavaKama. Friends, yo friends. Today's kind of technical. Tomorrow's gonna be a hard daf. What about the day after that? I think the day after that maybe also. There's some hard stuff coming up. Alright. Anyways, where are we? Okay, today's alright. It's like kind of alright. We did like half of the Amud yesterday. And yeah, it is what it is. It's not super easy, but it is what it is. Let's go weiter. We're gonna start in Daf Pei Zayin Amud Aleph, second of the wide lines at the Mishnah. Zechomer ba'adami bashar. There is a stringency by a person over a ox. Sha'adam shalom nezek tsar ripoy sheves uvoshes. Right, that a person who damages another person, so he's got the 5 things that he's got to pay for. Right, as we've been learning about the nezek tsar ripoy sheves boshes u'mishalim dmei vlodis. And also a fellow who who causes a fellow to miscarry, so he has to pay for the value of the fetus. V'shor einu mishalim elenezek. Now, an ox that gores, there's only nezek. There isn't tsar, sheves, ripoy, and boshes. Ufatumid mevlodis. And if a ox, as we learned, I don't remember when, maybe like 2 months ago already. We learned that if an ox gores a fella and she miscarries, the owner of the ox does not pay for the fetus. As we learned, I think yesterday, that somebody who hits his father or his mother but does not create a wound, or somebody who wounds his friend on Yom Kippur. Now, in both of these cases, there is no capital punishment. Chayiv bechulin. So the son or the friend is going to be chayiv for all 5 things. Achova be'eved ivri chayiv bechulin. Somebody who wounds an eved ivri is going to be chayiv for all 5 things. Chutz min hasheves, except for sheves bismanchu shalo. If the Eved Ivri is his Eved Ivri. If it's his Eved Ivri, then, he doesn't have to pay himself Sheves. It's meaning the Sheves is what the payment for not working, but, his work is the Adon, so he doesn't have to pay Sheves. If somebody wounds somebody else's Eved Knaini Chayiv Bechulon, so the wounder is Chayiv to pay for all 5 things. Rabbi Yehuda Omer says, Ein la'avodim boshes. Rabbi Yehuda says that avodim don't have boshes. Chereshoite v'koin p'kiyason ra. A cheresh, a shoite, a koin, stay clear of them. Ha'choyvel boyin chayiv, because somebody who damages them is going to be chayiv for damaging them, for wounding them. Behem shechavlu, but if they wound others, a chereshoite v'koin, ba'acherim p'turin. Right, so if they wound others, they are p'turin, because it's a chereshote v'koyin. They're not responsible for their actions. So basically, stay away from a chereshote v'koyin, because if you wound them, you're chay. But if they wound you, they're potter. They have immunity. Where am I? Now similarly, although not exactly the same, but similarly, an eved and an isha also stay clear. Because because somebody wounds them will be chayiv. But if they wound others, they are p'turin. However, but eventually the eved and the isha will pay. Nizgarsha isha, if the woman gets divorced and then she's no longer married and now she's got her own money, she then needs to pay. For the, she's got to pay, if she causes damage, then she's got to pay with the money that belongs to her now. Nishtachra Eved, also an Eved who goes free. So then also, at that point, he can pay back the victim. Chayav and the Shalom, at that point, the Isha and the Eved would be chayiv to pay. A fellow who hits his father or his mother and makes a wound, So he's chayiv misa. V'achovel b'chaveru b'Shabbos, or a fellow who wounds his fellow on Shabbos, potter mikulam. So he's potter from all the payments because there's a chiyuv misa. And a person who who wounds his eved knaini, potter mikulon, so he's potter from all of the things. Okay, what time is it? It's 6:25 p.m. Not super late, of course, but like starting to fade a shtickle. Hopefully, my short-term memory will hold up for the next 25 minutes. Hopefully. Okay, let's do it. Now at this point, for the rest of the daf, it's kind of technical stuff. Hopefully my short-term memory is going to hold up. This is not the kind of stuff that you don't want short-term memory for. But Amine Reb Elazar Mirab, Reb Elazar Asakasha fin Rab, Achovel bebas kitano shel acherim. Okay. Somebody who wounds his friend's minor daughter. Chabala lemi. So the payment for the wound goes to whom? Does it go to the minor daughter or does it go to her father? Mi aminan came in the akni leirachmon shvach nurim laav. Chabala nami devuave. Do we say that? Well, since shvach nurim goes to the father, that right, like anything she finds and also a kesef kiddushin, things like that, they go to the father. So also the money for her wound would go to the father. So my timer, where am I? Okay, because by wounding her, her value is degraded, and if the father wants to sell her as an amo ivria, he can't. He can, but it would be, it would affect her value. So therefore, he deserves the wound payment. Odilma, or perhaps shvach nurim hu de akne le rachmona. Look, the Torah allows the father certain things, right? Like her kesef kiddushin and the things that she finds and things like that. But right, the boy the mimsala lemuka shchin matzi maser, right? And he can marry her off to even a muka shchin, a fellow's muka shchin. How do I define a muka shchin? A leper, I guess. Somebody that the people might not want to marry so much, but he can do that. So Kevin the Iboy, where am I? So yeah, that he is allowed to do. Aval chavala, but a wound, Kevin the Iboy mechabel ba lo matzi chavil, he's not allowed to wound her. So lo kanye le rachmana. The wound payment does not go to him. Okay, so do we say that just like the shvach nurim goes to him, so does the wound payment? Or do we say that even though the shvach nurim goes to him, the wound payment does not go to him because he's not allowed to wound his daughter? So therefore, wound payments don't, right? Meaning shvach nurim, for example, he can marry his daughter off even to a mukashchin, so that stuff he gets. But chavala, he's not allowed to wound his daughter, so he also doesn't get the payment for the wound. Fine. So Amalei, so Rav responds, Lo zach sateri la'av elo shvach nurim bilvad. Rav says, like the kesef kiddushin, things that she finds, things like that can go to the father, but if she gets wounded, the money does not go to the father, it goes to her. Okay, fine. The next word is eisvei, but they changed it to meisvei, and also 3 lines after this also. Chevetz, take a vote. Do you will prefer eisvei or meisvei? Meisvei? Okay, fine. Meisvei. Hachovel be'eved ivri chayav bekulan. Okay, a fellow who wounds in eved ivri, so he has to pay all of the things, chutz min hasheves, except for sheves, bismanchu shalo, when it is his eved, and we want to say eved ivri, so we want to say that so when the eved ivri is his, so then the sheves goes to him, right? And we're saying that, when it comes to an eved ivri, Ma'aseh Yadav go to the Adon, right? All the things that he makes and stuff goes to the Adon, and we're saying that the Shvach goes to the Adon, right? He doesn't have to pay it to his Eved Ivri. So we'll say also by a daughter that this daughter Bito Ketana, her Ma'aseh Yadav go to the father. So we say that just like the Ma'aseh Yadav, her Ma'aseh Yadav go to the father, so also her wound money goes to her father. So Rav had said that the wound money does not go to the father, it goes to her. But over here we want to argue that the wound money would go to the father. Alright, where am I? Somebody who wounds an Eved Ivri chayiv b'chulon chutz min hasheves, so he has to pay the Eved Ivri for all the things except for sheves b'zman shu shelo when it is his Eved Ivri. So we see that because his Ma'aseh Yadav go to the Adon, so the Adon gets the we want to say, I guess he gets the payment, even though it's only specifically sheves, which we're about to say in a second. But we want to say also that by the daughter, it would go to the father as well, because he gets her Ma'aseh Yodayim, so also he would get the payment. So Rabbi Moder Rav b'sheves the Ma'aseh Yodayim Achas Bagros Davua Ave. Yeah, specifically sheves would go to the father, right? Just like by the Eved Ivri, all this stuff goes to the Eved Ivri, but the sheves goes to the Adon. So here also, the sheves would go to the father, but she would get like the nezek. Meisve, we have a kasha. Achova bebito bivno gadol, a fellow who wounds his adult son, yiten lo miyad, he should immediately pay his adult son the damages. Bivno ko'in, and if he wounds his minor son, Yaiselo Skula, he makes for his son a Skula. We're going to explain at the end of the daf what that means. Hachovo Bebito Kitana, somebody who wounds his daughter who's a Kitana Potter, he does not need to pay her. V'lo'od, not only that, Elo Achem Shechavlu Ba, and if other people wounded her, right, his daughter who's a Kitana, Chayav Litin the Avia, we have to give it to the father. So we see that the money is going to the father, not to her. Hacha nami b'sheves. Here also we're saying that only the sheves would go to the father, but she would get her own Chabala stuff. Okay, fine. So that's in line with Rav. Fine. Okay, here we go. Home stretch. Uvivno gadol yiten lo miyad. Okay, so we just said that if a fellow wounds his son who is an adult, he pays his son. Okay. We have a contradiction. We have a second brisa. Okay, so that was the first brisa, which says that if he wounds his adult son, he pays his adult son. But we have a second brisa that says, Achova bivanov uvivnosov shel acherim, that somebody who wounds his somebody else's sons or daughters, Gedolim, if they're adults, Yitain loim miyad, so he pays them immediately. Ketanim, if they are minors, Yaiseh loim segula, so he makes for them a segula. Bibanov uvivnosov shalo, but if it's his own sons or daughters, potter. So on the one hand, we had said that if he wounds his adult son, he pays him immediately, but then we're saying that if it's his own sons, he's potter from paying. So Amri Lokasha, they say, it's no question, kan bishe smuchim al shulchanu kan bishe'ein kishe'ein smuchim al shulchanu. It depends if he's supporting them or not. Right? When we say that he pays his adult son immediately, it's because his adult son is living independently. But when we say that he's potter for injuring his sons and daughters, so that would be when they are living at his house and he's supporting them. So he's potter from these payments. So now, v'mayu kim to the kamaisa. Okay, so what are we saying? That the first brisa, when it says that he pays his son, so that's talking about where the son is on his own. V'she'ein smuchen al shulchanu, where the son is on his own. But if that's the case, ema seifa. But what does it say in the continuation of the first brisa? It says, hachovel bebito aktana potter. That if a fellow wounds his daughter who's a minor, he's potter. Now, and then v'lo, not only that, ela acherim shechavlu ba, and if other people wound her, chayav litin le'avia, they give it to the father. But I don't understand. If we're talking about a scenario where his children, where he's not supporting them, so then why do these payments go to the father? L'dida ba'i l'meisav la d'ba'ya mizone. Then if we're talking about where the children, he's not supporting them, well then the wound payments should go to the daughter who needs money for food. It should not go to the father. So vafilu l'manda omar yochol harav lomer le'eved, and even according to the opinion who says that an Adon can say to his Eved Knaini, Ase imi ve'eni zoncho, I need you to work for me and I'm not paying for your food. Hanemile ve'Eved Knaini, that would be specifically by an Eved Knaini, the Amarle, that the Adon says to the Eved Knaini, Avid avidta kuleyoma, work all day, ula orta, and at night, zil schai ve'echol, go and walk around begging in order to have food to eat. Now that's by an Eved Knaini, aval Eved Ivri, but by an Eved Ivri, the chsiv that it says, ki tov lo imach, that it's gewaldig by the Adon's house. Imach b'maichol, imach b'mishte, the Eved Ivri eats with his Adon, drinks with his Adon. Right, as we said, I think it was in that similar place, it says, somebody who purchases an Eved Ivri purchased the master for himself. He's got to do everything for the Eved Ivri. So in that case, you wouldn't be able to say, work, and then find your own food. V'chol shekain bito, and certainly his daughter. So if we're talking about a scenario where the children are not, where he's not supporting them, well then why would the payment go to him for his daughter who's a minor? They should go to her because she needs to eat. And he can't just say, no, go around begging. No, if he's not supporting her, so then the money should go to her. Why does it say that it goes to him? So it's talking about the extras. We're talking about the extras, meaning we're talking about the extras, meaning of course if he's not supporting her, she needs money for food, right? And if she doesn't have money for food, then that money needs to go to her, so she has money for food. But if she has enough money for her food, so then the additional, what goes above and beyond that would go to the father. So okay, now the second brisa, which says that the payment for his sons and daughters go to him. So b'smuchin al shulchanu, we said that's talking about where he's supporting them. So the money goes to him. Gidolim yitein loem miyad kitani b'ayisulim segula amai. So if we're saying that second brisa is talking about where he is supporting his children, and therefore when he wounds his children, right? Is that what it said? It said, right? If he wounds his own children, potter. So we say he's potter. We said that that's because they are in his household. So if they're in his household, so then that means in the first part of that brisa also where it says that he wounds other people's sons and daughters. So it says in that case, then he pays them, the sons and the daughters of the other person immediately. But if we're talking about that in this brisa, we're talking about where they are being supported by the father, well then amai, why is he paying those, right, the sons and daughters of the other person? He should be paying their father. If we're talking about in that brisa where everybody's being supported by their parents, so then the money should go to the father. So Amri, they say, Enachinami, we're talking about where the father is supporting them, but Kika Kopid, when the father wants to be paid, is B'midei Dika Choser. If it costs him money, and he's supporting the kids, and now you've caused him to lose money now, so yeah, of course he's going to want to get that payment. But B'midei De Also Me'ama Lo Kopid. But for things that come externally, meaning, right here you have a guy, he's supporting his kids, and now some other guy, hurts his kids, so he doesn't cost him any money. So in that case, the herder pays his kids, let them keep the money. But what about mitzias, right? If he's supporting his kids, and his kids find something cool, so that nifty item goes to the father. But why? I thought we said that things that don't cost him anything and that they just kind of find from other places, shouldn't they be able to keep that? So Ami Ravcho de Kaasilu Me'ama V'leislu Tzaira de Gufayu Begava Kopit. So look, the reason why he wants the nifty things that they find is because What do we say? Ravcha dekasilu me'alma, benefit that they get externally. So, for example, they found something nifty. V'leislu tzayir degufayu begava, and it doesn't cause them any physical pain or harm. So kapit, so then the father wants it. Aval chavala, but being wounded, the islu tzayir degufayu, that they've been hurt, they've been wounded. Ume'alma ka'asilu, and it's coming from external factor, so it's not causing the father any money, and it's the children who are enduring the pain. So lo kapid, so then he's going to let them keep that money. But what about in the scenario where we said that they're on their own, that the father is not supporting the daughter, right, with the sons and the daughters, and we said that the payment goes to the father, right? In the first price, right? In the first price we said, if he wounds his daughter who's a ketana, he's potter. Not only that, and if other people wound her, they have to pay the father. But I understand, why would they have to pay the father? This is she is being pained, and it's coming externally. So why should any payment, even if we're just talking about hadafa, why should that go to the father? Why should it go to him? Let it go to the daughter. It's coming from an external place and it's causing her pain, and it's not causing him any money. What? So it says, if other people wound her, they pay the father. So Amir Asim the Gava Kaptanu, we said, well, that's because clearly this guy is makbid, he's a stingy guy, he's makbid on everything. He's not even supporting his own kids. Well, in that case, in that case, this guy is stingy, he cares about everything, even things that come from other places. For example, somebody wounds his daughter, he's going to care, and he's going to want to get payment from it. But in our case, where he's supporting his kids, and then his kids get wounded, so then right, clearly he's not a person who's stingy because he's raising, he's supporting his kids. So kika kapid b'midi de he's only going to care about things that cost him money, but b'midi de aslu me'alma, but things that come from external places, lo kapid. And if somebody wounds his kids, so he'll be okay with them keeping the payment. Okay, my segula, right? We had said, and if he damages the kid who's a minor, so he should make a segula. What's this segula? Rav Chizda Amr says, Rav Chizda Sefer Torah, that he writes a Sefer Torah for the child to learn from when he gets older. Rabbi Ravuna Amr Dikla Dikachil Mine Tame. Rabbi Ravuna says that we're talking about a palm tree that the kid will then be able to eat from dates. Okay. And just like Rav had said at the top of the Amud, that the father gets the shvach nurim, but not the wound payments. So so says Ushlakish, that the father only gets the shvach nurim, but the chabala payments would go to the daughter. Rabbi Yochanan says that even just a minor wound would go to the father. You really think you're talking about a minor wound? Even Rabbi Lazar, who was asking about what goes to the father, that was specifically a chabala, specifically a significant wound, and we're wondering, who does that go to? But just a minor wound that isn't costing anybody any money, so then Rabbi Lazar is not talking about that. Of course, I think the point is, of course, it would not go to the father. Yeah, my brain's stopping to work a little bit, but we're done now. Well, it is talking about some kind of wound where her value did go down, decrease, and that is what we're talking about. We wanted to know, does the value go to the father or to the daughter? Friends, that was that Paizain of Masechta BavaKama. Oh wait, no. So okay, and in that case, Rabbi Yochanan says that it would go to the father because it lowered the value. Okay, friends, that was that Peizayin of Masechta BavaKama. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.